Welcome to another episode of The Art of Graceful Change. I am very excited to be back in our home, the Maldives, and absolutely blessed to have Maisha Zuhair. Am I correct?
Yes. Right.
Try my best here. From the Pilates Social Club, which is my favourite hangout spot while I'm here in the Maldives with the Pilates Reformer. Absolutely love it. Absolute pleasure to have you with me today. So we're going to talk everything about fitness and how we're going to get our bodies looking good without, dare I say, on many of my podcasts, we do not need to have the revenge body that most of us have never had in the first place, but we want to be as strong and healthy as women that are going through that graceful change in our lives. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Heidi.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here. So Maisha, start with just introducing yourself and just give us a little bit of a background because you've got amazing experience. So give us a bit of background about what you've done.
All right. So in terms of wellness and health, I have done my certificate 3 and 4 in fitness in Australia. And while doing that, I have also come across Reformer Pilates. That's when I found out about Reformer Pilates. I've done Met Pilates before, but that's the first time I've figured how the Reformer machine works because the studio and the gym that I was working with just introduced Reformer Pilates back then. And I attended a class with them one time and I absolutely fell in love with it with the first try. And I was like, I set my mind on to learning more about it. And I'm someone that if I like something, I like to learn more about it. So I got certified in Mat Pilates and then Reformer Pilates and then started instructing in Pilates instead of being a fitness instructor. And that's awesome. How I began that journey. So while I was in Australia, I have taught in about 6 studios altogether. So I will hop in and out of different studios because I love teaching to different groups of people and you meet different people in this journey. And that's something I enjoy doing as well. Yeah. You're teaching them something that is meaningful, but at the same time building new connections together. And I love doing that with them. So that has been the way I began that journey.
Yeah.
But doing that in Australia, I also wanted to be in more control of the timings and everything that came along with that journey. And I've always wanted to start something new of my own. And initially, I thought of opening it in Perth. That was where I was staying then. But looking back in time, we also missed our family a lot because we haven't visited home in a very long time. And we thought, Maldives is a great place to start a business. It's a great environment. Anything you begin, people love trying new things. So we thought, I think we might move back to Maldives to open a Pilates studio because it looks like there isn't a Reformer dedicated studio in the Maldives yet. So we packed our bags, moved back here, and within 1 month of moving back, we had our studio opened and up and running.
Really a month, wow.
Within a month, exactly 30 days. So within 30 days of moving back, we found a place to rent. We got the place renovated because the space that we rented out was just 4 walls. So we built the whole place from scratch. Okay. So we had a team that was working for 12 hours a day, possibly longer some days. And we were always there in person to observe and make sure things were getting done the right way. But and then 30 days later, we had our own space.
That's amazing.
And it's been going really well. I enjoy doing what I do, so...
Fantastic. And obviously Australia is a big place for fitness. You know,
100%.
I studied in New Zealand. Obviously worked with a lot of Australians. So it's they're way ahead of the time, which is what I love. So what you're bringing to the Maldives, probably way ahead of what a lot of people are doing right now, which is awesome as well. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
I love that. Okay, so they look like scary machines to people that have never used them. They're fairly intimidated. And then you get these skimpy women on these little pictures or Instagram posts that makes it look even more intimidating when their legs are in all different compromising positions. So let's go back to basics and let's just, if you can explain to people that are watching this, first of all, where Pilates as such came from, and then how we got from mat-based Pilates to Reformer. So take us on that journey.
So, Pilates was invented 100 years ago for soldiers in World War I.
Yep.
So, what you're seeing at the moment on social media being very female-led, that is not the intention of what it was built for.
And his name was?
Joseph Pilates. Yes. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
So, he was in World War One, and he was there to help all the soldiers that were injured recover. So he had built Pilates as a form of recovery for these soldiers that were injured. And initially, the machine that you see at the moment that looks very intimidating, that was actually done on the patient beds before. He's attached springs to the machine, which is the bed, to just help them with the rehab. So that is how the Pilates machine that you're currently seeing was invented. It was just a medical bed with springs attached to them. So the workouts that we are doing in a reformer Pilates class, I sometimes just phrase it as we are getting trained for World War. It is similar to military training because that's what they did to get better after an injury.
Wow.
I think there's a big misconception around Pilates at the moment because everything you see trending at the moment are just girls in cute outfits doing these workouts. But that is not the reason why it was invented by Joseph Pilates. It was invented to help you with any injuries that you have got and also to help you prevent any injuries that you may face as you take different stages in life with your body. And help you get stronger. So there's different reasons why it was invented. It is an overall great tool for you if you're looking to build strength, get that mind-body connection, and at the same time just feeling better in your own body, no matter what phase in life you're in, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50. It is one of the most inclusive workouts that I've come across in the fitness industry.
So what's the difference between the mat-based Pilates and the reformer?
So with the mat-based Pilates, what you're working on is with your body weight. So instead of using any props, any machines, you're working with your body weight as that tension load. So you'll be using a mat just to use as comfort. You can lie down, you can be kneeling, doing different movements, but basically the whole movement is done with your body with no other props. So if you're using your body weight, that's the limitation with mat Pilates. Whereas reformer, whether you believe it or not, was invented to support mat Pilates for those that struggle to work with their bodies themselves. So sometimes you might find it hard to stay in a boat pose, which is a pose where you stay with your bum on the floor, legs up in a V, hands out over your head. So your body looks like this.
It's really hard.
It is really hard. So you're using your body weight to hold yourself along with your core strength. Now, not having anything to grab on as you struggle can be a bit of a challenge. That is why the machine was invented. Machine is there to give you that extra support. You've got those straps, you've got the foot bar to hold onto. And that, whether you believe it or not, reformer is not a progression from mat.
Because people believe that, right?
People used to believe that, and I think most of them still do. But it is there as a supportive alternative option for Pilates. But the good thing about reformer than mat is, I love it because you have got that resistance in them that you can work with. So if you're looking at building more strength, those weighted resistance springs you've got on gives you that strength-based training along with the full body workout, and I enjoy that more.
Yeah, definitely. So Pilates is predominantly starting with that core. We talk about that neutral spine. So can you explain a little bit more about why we need strength in this area and like how we achieve that in Pilates? Because I've seen a lot of people where they're in very, not in your classes obviously, but in other classes where I've seen them in very awkward positions where it's very clear that they're not engaging. Because if you, like this morning, one of the exercises we did in the class, the one with the thing on the knees where you were holding the block on the knees and then extending out. I could do this all day, not in the sense it was easy, but as in I felt my lower, this our age, we've got this little pouch coming out, and I was like, oh man, I could feel this working. And when you first showed the exercise, I went,
oh, so easy, isn't it?
And then I was like, no, I can feel. But wow, like so concentrated and the exact muscle that I definitely need, like which is where we're having the problem. So explain more about the core for women in general, but especially like how it benefits us when we get into our 40s and 50s.
So, any sort of workout is great for your body. But the reason why I love Pilates, specifically reformer Pilates, is because it is such a low impact workout, but it gives you an equally good workout. It works all your muscles. Now, if you go to the gym, you are mostly focused with the movements. The movements usually focus on your bigger muscles.
True.
However, when you do Pilates, especially with that resistance-based springs on a reformer, you are working out all your muscles along with your deep stabilizing muscles that are built within those bigger muscles as well. So that's the key with the Pilates movements. So you'll notice anyone that's new, even if someone that has been really consistent to my classes, you'll get those shakes in the classes. They're called the Pilates shakes. You'll notice your muscles shaking really quickly like this. And that is normal. This is because your body usually uses the bigger muscles when we do your day-to-day workouts, day-to-day movements. Whereas in Pilates, we go deeper than the bigger muscles. We target your deep stabilizing muscles. And when it comes to deep stabilizing muscles, one of the best muscles we use throughout the whole workout is your core. And when I say core, it is not just your belly. It is everything that is wrapped around that area internally as well. So when I say belly, most people think it's just their lower belly. I'm like, no, that's not it. Everything that's around your rib cages going all the way to the back of the spine. Now, the best thing about Pilates is if we do a 45-minute workout or a 1-hour workout, no matter what area we specifically target, whether it's your shoulders, whether it's your glutes or your thighs, throughout that movement, your core is fully engaged if you do it right. That's the best part. If you feel your core disconnecting, you're not getting the most out of that workout. And that's why I encourage all my clients to not drop their feet down if you're ever in tabletop as well. Because the minute you drop your feet down, you're losing that connection between your core and your body. And we want to keep that connected to get the full effect of that movement.
Definitely.
And the best thing about the core is the stronger your core, the less problems you have with your spine. So if you have any lower back pain, lower back injuries, spine injuries like disc bulges, things like that, Pilates is one of the most recommended exercises by your doctors as well.
You can do it with a bulging disc?
You can.
Really?
I've got a lot of members.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
However, any qualified experienced instructors will know to give you a modification. Now, the usual movement you might do, let's say in a roll down where you do a C-curve roll down. I know you understand, most of the members might not, viewers might not understand what I'm talking about, but it is a movement where you roll your spine down one vertebrae at a time, lowering it down all the way onto your carriage and picking your body back up in the same C-curve you've got with that spine. Now, anyone with a back injury or a disc bulge will do it with a straight back. So they lower slowly with a straight back instead of a C-curve. So that's their modification.
Got you.
When you choose to go to any Pilates classes, I always stress how important it is to choose a class with an experienced instructor because picking up on those modifications is essential. And the fact that Reformer Pilates is so inclusive, no matter what your body type is, no matter what injury you have got, no matter what phase or stage in life you're with your body, as you pass on, they meet you where you are with your body. So even if you're hitting that menopause or perimenopause stage, Pilates meets you where you are with that body at that time. And we can modify those exercises. I can guarantee you there's almost a modification for every single problem you could list. And we've studied that thoroughly and we can give you those modifications. And that's what I love about Pilates. You can do it and we'll make sure you're included in that workout.
So I think like what we were talking about earlier, what I love about Pilates, like you said, it's all inclusive. Like there's no one that we're turning away from the class, you know, everyone can do it. And I think that's what I love the most about it, definitely. And how I would always, not now so much, but when I used to teach, I used to talk to them about the fact that our bodies are like a tree and our core is like the tree trunk.
100%.
So without having strength there, the branches, which are your limbs, are never going to have the same strength. So you can pump iron all you want, but if you don't have this here, nothing else it's not going to, you know, and you see people's spines crumble constantly. And like when I see the gym and they've got these big weight belts on them, I'm like, you wouldn't need that if you had proper core strength,
100%.
you know? So I like core strength to me is like the first go-to in fitness, then everything else comes. And I think as well, being a woman of age, that also with the pelvic floor.
100%.
like whether you've had babies or not, when you get older, that weakens, and women need that strength. And Pilates does that with that, being that neutral spine,
Correct.
which is another really important thing that women need to really connect with. Yeah,
I agree.
So coming of age, and I've been in the fitness industry for 30 years, but still I found that as I've aged, I'm now 48. So as I've aged, my body has changed and my body has needed different exercises. But also what I found was I hit perimenopause about 4 years ago now. And I just hit a brick wall. I gained weight. I had no energy, highly emotional, like so many things. And then like I told you, my knees just collapsed on me last year. Now they said there's osteoarthritis there. And so many things that I didn't expect to come, especially from someone that had always done fitness and had good nutrition. It all came and kind of hit me in the face really fast. So I can imagine women that haven't been on that wellness journey and don't really know what's going on. It must be a lot harder. But going on this journey, I think the biggest thing for me was understanding that I needed to adapt and listen to what my body was needing. And dare I say, I've had like some conversations recently, of recent time, should I say, with different industry experts. And I've been to conferences, menopause conferences as well. And these beautiful women on the stage, like women in their 50s, really like toned up, like completely defined. And they're like, oh, I completely changed my body by doing deadlifting. And that's all you need to do is you just need to do heavy weights, heavy deadlifting, and that's it. And I just sat there looking around in the audience and I thought, how many women in this audience are going to be comfortable literally just throwing their body around and doing massive squats? Now, I would be petrified to go and put a barbell on my shoulders now with my knees. My knees would just collapse, right? It's not possible. And a lot of women are suffering with, different kinds of, because there's about 1 million different like symptoms as such with menopause and perimenopause. But I find a lot of women, even they get like frozen shoulder and things like that. So for me, the thought of a woman going into the gym, especially if she hasn't been used to it and going and hitting hard on that kind of stuff, I'm like, really? And that's meant to be good? And I was told Pilates recently, it's just fluff. Does nothing. And I'm like, really? You want to come to one of my classes? And then we'll see, No, I know deadlifting may be what is considered one of the ultimate exercises. But what's your kind of like why should a woman start reformer Pilates when she's either in perimenopause or menopause? Like, what difference is she going to experience?
I think the social media trend has put a really different perspective into people's mind about Pilates and reformer Pilates specifically. Yeah. Because I think they think it is just stretching. But very well in my classes, we are not just stretching. Of course, we do stretch before and after classes, after the workout and before the workout. But it is way more than just stretching. Yeah. Everyone leaves sweaty. Everyone leaves feeling like they've done a good workout. And they feel more mindful after the workout because we incorporate a lot of breath work into the movements that we do. Now, when you hit that premenopausal and menopausal stages, your bone density weakens as you age. And the machine reformer Pilates actually was designed in a way to aid any muscle growth in a safe way. So using that intensity of the springs and using those straps along with that machine makes you do the workout in a really safe way. Very low compact and also very low intense. There is the opportunity for you to grow and do it a bit faster, quicker, if that's your way to go. But Pilates is more about controlled movements. Yeah. It is not about how many reps you can do, how quick you can finish a workout. The slower you go, the more effective Pilates is. That's what I tell all my clients.
True. Yeah.
And I think the best advice I can give for someone that is starting their premenopause stage is start building your strength now. I think of it this way. The sooner you start building your strength is more so like you are investing in your future health. So if you have got a health bank, you're just depositing into that health bank, so your future self and your body will thank you later. And it's so important to build strength. And I know there are different opinions in terms of whether you should do Pilates or whether you should do strength building using heavy lifts. I think the fact that lifting heavy is such an injury-prone movement for someone in their, 40s or 50s, especially like you said, someone that hasn't worked out in a very long time.
Yeah.
That is 100% guaranteed injury-prone activity for you, going straight into heavy lifting, especially without building slowly into it.
Yeah.
Whereas Pilates is a very low-impact, controlled movement, very safe for you, but at the same time, very effective at building that strength. I think that's what I love about that machine anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that it is such a safe tool to use, of course, with an experienced instructor around, but at the same time gives you that good workout, and building that muscle and bone density in this age is crucial for you.
Crucial, yeah.
And that is a perfect way for you to do that while enjoying the whole thing as well,
Yeah. And I think it's nice, if you go to the gym, unless you do have the disposable money to go and get a personal trainer, because you're not going to do deadlifting on your own, right? I think what's nice about the classes is that community, because I think as a woman, I felt very lonely at times and very self-conscious. And when you go into a class and you see all the other shapes and sizes of the women in the class, and everybody's just getting on and doing their thing, and there's that grateful, you have such energy in the class, and so we all have a giggle and we enjoy it. Even if I go in there in a bad mood, I come out feeling great, not only because I've worked out, because you've just forgotten about everything else, and you can actually realize everybody else is in the same boat. So it's a really, for me, I think for women that, a lot of women that I've spoken to, especially my good friends, it seems to be a very lonely time. And I think having these communities, I love even the name of your business, Pilates Social Club, it's a community.
It is.
And I think that's beautiful, because I think we need to build not a community just around menopause, but a community of women, where we can all inspire and encourage each other, and we can support each other as well. It doesn't matter what age we are, because I think it got to the stage for me last year where I actually focused on it so much that I was getting depressed just thinking about it and obsessing over it, instead of just getting on with what I could control, because there's so much that is out of our control. And what we tend to do is focus on that and not what we can do. And I just said to myself, I have to change my mindset. And this year I promised myself I'd just be more positive.
Yep.
And there's going to be days when I'm just so exhausted, but I'm going to still turn up. I'm just going to do it. And it may be some days, I was in Bangalore last week, and the Pilates instructor said to me, Heidi, you're not yourself today. I was like, I am tired. I haven't slept in 3 days. I've been traveling. Just let me be.
But
I showed up.
Good
and I was
job.
but even he noticed the difference in my energy. But I was just like, no, I'm here. Whereas I could have just laid in bed, but I knew I'd feel rubbish for it afterwards, So I think just showing up is nice. And I think when you're committed to a class, you're more likely, you've got that commitment to show up then, right? So I think that's really important. Yeah. Okay, a controversial subject, but we're going to get onto it anyway, because I was a very obese child, right? So throughout my life, I've always had to control my weight, but I've always kept it really under control, and I've done well. Hit perimenopause and out of control. And I can just look at a piece of food and there's 5 kilos just added. And by the end of the day, I can go up about 10 kilos by the end of the day, and my stomach will look like I'm pregnant. And I know many women in perimenopause and menopause know exactly what I'm talking about. And you feel rubbish. But weight loss. Now, there's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of mixed opinions, and we won't go down the route of all the weight loss supplements, because that's, to me, that's not an answer. It's a quick fix. That's not where we're at. I want women to be healthy and I want them to be more happy and accepting. Not to say that I haven't thought 100 times about, okay, will I do Ozempic? Will I just do it? And I'm like, for what? I'm doing it for vanity reasons. I don't know how it's going to affect my health. And at the end of the day, am I going to be happier? Whoever knows, right? So I said, no, I'm not going to go down that route. But for weight loss, do we, I'm seeing and again, last year sucked me into a lot of social media. Some are telling you cardio. Some are saying just do walking, it's low impact and you burn. And then some are saying like deadlifting, Pilates, all that kind of stuff. What's going to help us maintain our weight? Because I think for me, I found a combination, but my walking's more like I enjoy my walking, but it's more for my mindset more than anything. I think I'm burning many calories. I'm a slow walker. But with your expertise, like what's best?
I think movement is key. Whether we're talking about going for a walk for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and then coming back to the gym if that's your place. Yeah. If that's your happy place, great, use the gym. But if you prefer Pilates or Reform Pilates, that 45-minute workout is a good enough full body movement that you're going to get that is going to contribute to that weight loss as well. But again, I tell everyone, I love Pilates so much and I'm an advocate for Pilates and its benefits, but that is not the only key for your solution or whatever you're looking at. What I try, let's put it this way. You have a recipe and Pilates is a wonderful ingredient, but combining it with quality sleep, good nutrition, and stress management, that's when you get that wonderful dish. Yeah. So when you're looking at achieving something like a personal goal like weight loss, or if you're someone that's looking at toning your body, or if you're someone that's looking to actually build some muscles because you are a bit underweight and wanting to do that, you can always achieve it, whether it's the studio or whether it's the gym, you can achieve it, but it's not solely dependent on the exercise or movement you do. It comes with other things that you have to contribute along with that workout you do. And with Pilates, the reason why I love doing Pilates more is because it is just so safe for you. For someone that is especially not been at the gym or worked out in ages and looking to get into fitness, that is one of the safest forms of exercise you can do because it is gentle on your joints, gentle on your bones, gentle on your muscle. You are building your strength, but with a good consistency that you are not overworking those muscles and getting any injuries. It actually, in fact, prevents injuries as you build those muscles and strengthen your bones and muscle strength. So it's a great overall workout, I would say. The reason why I watch so much for Pilates is because it is so inclusive. No matter what injury you have, no matter how many surgeries you have got, or if you have got a medical condition, if you have been in an incident or accident and you need to recover, and that's the route to recover through rehab, we can do that too. And the fact that almost all the physiotherapists in Perth has a reformer machine in their room, I think explains how good it is for your rehab. And the fact that it was initially built to cure injured soldiers speaks for itself.
Really does.
So I think it's important to remember just working out is not going to give you results. Of course, it contributes a lot to your result, but you need that full dish, not just one ingredient. You need to combine all the ingredients together to make your beautiful dish.
And that's the thing, there's not just one solution.
Correct.
And not everybody is going to and this was the thing, all women in menopause now should be deadlifting. Well, that's going to be boring. No. It's like saying all women in menopause now can only eat chicken. Our diet's going to be boring. Like, it's the same thing. Like, we need to have variety. Everyone's body is different as well. Correct. So it's not going to suit, it will suit everyone, but maybe I don't enjoy it. Yep. So but then again, with deadlifting as well, if you're someone that have been doing that for a very long time, your body is used to it. So your body is safe to continue doing that as you hit your menopausal stages in life. However, if you're someone that has not deadlifted in a long time and you have been asked to deadlift to get strength, that is the worst advice I could think of, because that is going to get you more negative effects than positive effects, because your body is not going to be ready for such a big load of weight immediately. Absolutely. Of course, you have to slowly build up on it, and that's a good way to start. Otherwise, you have other safer, more low impact workouts you can do, like Pilates. Yeah. And I think as well, like, it's maintenance as well. Because for me, I notice if I don't do Pilates in a week, I'm feeling my muscles getting soft again. And this is what I didn't expect to happen at this age. Whereas I was in my 30s, even in my earlier 40s, my muscles were still stay toned. But now doesn't happen. 1 week and I feel like I'm back to zero, not strength wise, but when I kind of look and go, oh, my stomach's getting a bit soft and my arms are, I'm really feeling a difference. Yeah, it's rubbish. But look, that's the way, that's the way it is. And you just have to accept that. But yeah, I think that the maintenance side is a big thing, because if you're going to be doing like hardcore heavy, like how long are you going to sustain it? So for me, it's about longevity. And I love what you say about the fact that it's actually part of just a whole jigsaw puzzle of just, you know, so many different elements. Because if you are happy, then actually you're not standing in the mirror constantly looking at yourself and saying, oh God, look at the state of me. You know, you're not worrying about those things. So that was one thing that I really focused on this year, is getting my happiness back and focusing on other things and being more positive than not worrying so much about that side of things, and realizing that actually there's way more other things that are important during this phase, health-wise. And one of the things I said was, even if I'm a little bit bigger, because I'm still a few kilos extra than where I want to be, but I said, even if I'm that, if I'm strong, I'm going to be happy with that. And I can see like my arms definitely have improved. Like there's some nice definition there that wasn't there before. So now I'm kind of saying I have strength now, which means if I have strength, it means that my muscle mass has improved, which means I'm going to be healthier, which my bone density. And I've said, right, because a big thing that everybody knows, and it's a personal thing, it's got nothing to do with anything wrong with it. I am absolutely adamant that I do not want to take HRT unless there is an absolute, you know, I absolutely have to. I always said there's about 1% chance that I'll take it. I'm never ruling it out 100%. But for me, part of that HRT, because they put a lot of fear into you, is about, you know, the bone density and things like that. So, and I know there's so many more doctors who go, oh gosh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But we have as much knowledge as we can hold at this stage. And if we look at all the, like, there's estrogen, then there's progesterone. I can't even pronounce it properly. But there's so many. And so we live in anxiety of like, I haven't got enough of anything, right? Instead of kind of going, okay, what can I manage right now? And I think another thing you said is about just, you know, that de-stress. If we, as a podcast I did last week actually in Mumbai, when we were talking about, we listen to our bodies. Your body will tell you what it needs. Yep. Like we really just need to, like sometimes in a workout, you say, do you know what, I can do a little bit more. Sometimes you say, do you know what, I'm going to have to pull back. And I think we just need to be more aware of our bodies, and our bodies will tell us exactly
100%
where we're at, what we need, and really go from that.
Yeah. To add to that.
Yeah.
Now, with Pilates, the good thing about Pilates is it is low impact and uses controlled movements, that it gives you enough time for you to think through, all right, can my body take an extra load today? Yeah. Whereas at the gym, you're doing really quick reps, and that doesn't give you enough time to really think through that movement and figure out whether your body can take an extra load today or not. So that's why I like Pilates, because it is a really slowed down workout, which gives you time to connect your mind body together to give you a better result, to push yourself a bit harder if you need to. Or if on the same day you're looking for something more relaxing, you have the option to slow down as well. And I like that about that.
Yeah.
Look, any form of exercise does release endorphins, which are your happy hormones, and reduces your stress hormones at the same time. That is a no-brainer. But the fact that you can do it in a slow-paced environment, in a calm manner, is just more beautiful than, you know, in a very intimidated room with lots of weights and stressing your body at the same time. So doing that workout without stressing your body so much and getting the same effect is something I love about Pilates.
And it's another thing that a lot of women are talking about, is how anxious they feel about everything. So you're absolutely right. If you're able to calm the mind and calm the body, the anxiety levels can be managed. 100%. How many days a week do you think is best for us to be doing Pilates? How many days should we do?
Especially when you're in that premenopausal and menopause stage, we recommend to anyone at least 2 classes a week is what you need to attend to see good results and notice that difference within your body as well as in your physical body as well. Even if you're a bit younger, that is what I usually recommend for anyone. But when you are in your stage at the moment, you're looking at different symptoms, not just the loss of body, bone density and muscle mass decrease. You're also looking at lack of sleep. You're looking at lots of mood swings. You're looking at your pelvic flow being a bit weaker. So all the things that comes along with your menopausal stage are things that actually are targeted by Pilates. Every single thing you list as a symptom is an advantage when you do Pilates. It improves all of those things. Yeah. And that's what I love about Pilates. It's beautiful in its way, but for someone that can continue with their consistency, I say stick to 2 to 3 classes a week, although once a week is beneficial as well.
So if I'm going to do 2 to 3 days a week, how long, for a woman like my age, like late 40s, early 50s, how long will it take me to see physical results? I know we'll feel better, but for me to look and go, oh yeah, I can see a difference. How long?
So the fact that we use that resistance-built training with all those springs and working in those slow movements really targets those deep stabilizing muscles, which actually speeds up your toning process. So with the way you mentioned, you noticed your arms getting a bit toned after doing Pilates.
Yeah.
Is actually the result most of us will see after doing those Pilates classes. Now, Joseph Pilates himself, the legend, has said you will feel the difference in a few classes, and within 30 classes, you will see the difference yourself in the mirror. So
nice. Okay.
10 classes is what gets you to feel like, okay, I feel a difference in my body. 20 classes makes you feel confident, and 30 classes actually shows you a really good difference between where you started and now when you stand in front of a mirror.
I love that. Yeah. That's not hard at all. That can be done.
But then again, you see results with consistency, no matter what you do in life.
True.
Yeah. So same way.
Yeah.
You need that consistent plan to make sure you see that result that I mentioned. So if you are able to attend 1 class a week, of course that result's going to be pushed a bit longer. Yeah. However, if you attend 3 classes a week, you're going to see that within that time frame. So, but then again, going back to that full dish.
Yes.
You do need good nutrition.
I was going to say.
You do need that.
You can't then go off to Burger King afterwards. It cannot be done.
I mean, you can always treat yourself. What I say is I don't like eliminating food from my options. Moderation is key. Yeah. Moderation is key, and a calorie deficit is key for looking at losing weight.
And that's the point. Like, people often think, I need to do this, I need to do that. Whether you exercise or not, I mean, you won't necessarily be as healthy, but whether you exercise or not, if your body needs 2,000 calories a day and you give your body 1,500 calories consistently, you will lose weight. This is why people get really confused about Ozempic. Ozempic it's this appetite suppressant. It stops you from eating.
Correct.
So all it's doing is stopping you from eating. There's so many other ways to actually reduce the appetite, including certain foods will actually having a higher protein diet, because it's not spiking the sugar levels. Another joy of perimenopause is there's a lot of diabetic symptoms actually. And a couple of my friends have gone on thyroid medication, which breaks my heart, because I don't know that it is thyroid per se, but I think it's that spike of where the hormones are at. But anyway, that's what they're dealing with. But if we have a higher protein diet, then we're not getting those sugar lows all the time. Correct. And I found that what I love about after your classes is that I go and get my protein shake, and actually that just fills me up.
Yep.
And that's replenishing everything that I need in my system. And if we just do a couple of those things, it'll make a huge difference.
100%.
Yeah.
But the thing about, losing weight with just what you eat and what you don't eat, when you don't work out and just minimize your calorie count and lose weight, you're actually losing the good fat in your body as well. Yeah. When you incorporate working out along with that diet, you're working those good fat in your body to build as strength. So that's the difference between not working out. When you don't work out but still lose weight, you're losing that, good fat, you're losing that muscle density, bone density, and you're not able to, build that strength. So why not use that to power your muscles?
Yeah, I think women really, at all ages, but especially at this age, I think women, we really need to focus, like I said, on strength and having that strength rather than the weight loss as such, and just accepting. And listen, like I've said many times, I've changed my clothes to make myself feel better. And, a couple of extra kilos, look, there's a lot of worse things in life. Do you know that kind of way? And I think we have to be in the place. No, I'm never going to get it to a stage where I have to go up a size, by the way. I refuse to go up a size, but maybe just the styling of my clothes have changed to make me feel more comfortable. And especially when the stomach's so bloated at the end of the day, I'm like, just a big old dress and kaftan I need today. But, you know, that's, I think, what we need as women to it's a psychological thing, I think, in very much. But there's so much pressure with women, you know, like I said at the beginning, of doing this, of getting this revenge body. And I'm like, I didn't have one in my 20s. Why am I going to get one in my 40s when I have less time on, you know, on my hands than ever? But I'd love to just see women embrace, be healthy, but most importantly, be happy and bring that level of anxiety down. I think be able to navigate through it. So that graceful change, I think for me is most important.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. And I think that's the best thing about Pilates, specifically reformer Pilates, with that low impact movements, with the resistance training to build your strength, no matter what stage you're in life, whether you are in your 20s, whether you're in your premenopause stage or your menopause stage, Pilates meets you where you are. Yeah. And it adjusts itself to work for your body. And that's the beauty of it. And I love it for that reason.
Yeah. And we love you and we love doing your classes. We're all obsessed. And thank you so much. Your energy is so beautifully infectious. And it just, you know, like I say, I can walk in after just feeling really grumpy for the day and I just feel amazing afterwards because you just bring that passion, which is what we need more of. And we need that level of expertise in the industry, just like you have. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
I
appreciate it.
So thank you for today. I've absolutely loved chatting with you. We'll have many more chats, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Yeah. And look out for some more retreats. We're going to be having some more beautiful retreats, not just for the menopause, but just for women's health in general. And we're going to be focusing on that over the coming months. So click on the link below and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.